Hey, I'm Primitive Tim, and today we're going to learn how to make a bowstring out of agave fibers. A lot of agaves have spines on the very tip here and all along the edges. So first thing I do when I cut it is I take off the tip and I cut off all the spines on the edges. Now after I have it despined, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to split it right in half. So if you I bend it toward the inside, and it'll split right in half long ways, like so. There we go. And I just take those two halves and there we go. So I'll set one of these halves aside. Alright, so now it's in half, and whenever you split it, it has like little residual fibers hanging off. So those are the fibers I'm going to start with. I'll go ahead and grab those and just peel them the length of the leaf here. And then I start the process of getting the flesh of the plant off of the fibers, because the flesh is going to make things weak and make it rot as well. So I really don't even want the flesh of the plant at all. Now I'm left with these little white fibers. So now I'm starting to get a few fibers off. And these fibers are pretty long. The longer the fibers, the better. That's going to make a much more efficient bowstring. Alright, so I've got all my agave fibers out and processed, and this is a lot of fibers. This is going to be plenty for what I'm using them for. And these are just a ton of great white clean fibers. I really like agave. So the first step in making the string is the reverse twist. So I'm going to do a reverse twist, and I'm probably going to make like a 15 to 20 foot string using the reverse twist method. And then I'm actually going to double it over itself. So you see this one is, I've started out right here, is very thin. So that's actually going to be doubled over itself. So I'll do like this. And it's going to be more like this thickness right here. So I took all those fibers and I just made string until I used them all up. And this is what I have here. This is easily well over 20 feet. And you can see it's doubled over here, so that's a lot of cordage right there. So I'm going to find the middle, and you do that just by folding it in half, and that's where I'm going to start my reverse wrap down my second reverse wrap. But before I start reverse wrapping it, I'm going to do a Flemish twist. Alright, so I'm going to do a Flemish twist. So basically that means I'm going to have a loop at the very end. So I just grabbed like a little length of string like this. This happens to be 2 pieces. You could take this exact same string and just cut some off the end and use that. But I had this laying around, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And so I want a fair bit hanging off the end, so as that part will actually go back into it. So in the end it's going to look about like this, and then this is all going to be twisted together. So right about here, I'm going to go ahead and start that. So I'll just do the reverse wrap here. I can even do this if I want. That'll make things a lot easier. Alright, so I have a little length that's reverse twisted like this. And so I can make a little loop with it, just like this. Now this loop is probably too small to knock it, but I really don't care because I'm going to use a Turkish double loop. So there just needs to be a loop so that I can put another loop on this loop. So now I'm going to put these loop ends together. I like to twist them like this. And this secondary string here, one is going to go to one side and one is going to go to the other. So for example, I have these two here. So I'm going to twist this side. I'm going to twist these with this string. And I'm going to twist this one with this string. So you don't want them twisting with the same string. You want them twisting with opposite strings. So now we've got a nice little loop there, and we're just going to continue this on down the length of these two strings here. And again, this is just reverse wrapping, so very simple method. You just continue to reverse wrap the whole way down. Get used to doing this a lot. Just getting a cramp in my thumb. So close. Alright, I'm gonna call that done and tie it off. Now I have some extra string on this side, and that's fine. I'll probably use that for my double loop. Cool. Look at that. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'll be using a Turkish loop. So here it is right now. So I'm going to go over how this is made. So first I'm going to undo it. Alright, so here's my Flemish Twist here. Now what I like to do is I put one piece here and then another piece on top. So one is going under and one is going over. With the side that is under, I'll place it through the loop like this. Pull it some. And then with this side, I'll bring it behind and pull it through. I'll pull these up a little bit tighter. This is going to be my loop here. I want it fairly small, so I'm going to continue pulling it up. And this is it right here. Alright, so I've got my string and my bow, and right here I actually reinforced it with some more agave fibers, because that's where I'm going to be knocking my arrows, and so I don't want that to get worn out and get too weak. Obviously I have like a ton of extra string, and I probably could have made 2 bowstrings out of this, but I'm just going to use this extra string for reinforcements, replacing the double loop up here, and stuff like that. So that's what I'll use that for. But more than likely I'll cut it off about right here, and that way I'll have some wiggle room if I want to put this string on a larger bow or something like that. Now at first I thought this string was going to be too thick and just too bulky and not very good, but I just shot 9 arrows through it, and I really like it. It's a good bow. The color didn't turn out like I wanted it to, but you know, that's not a big deal at all. The Turkish double loop seems to be working out pretty well. There's some frays already starting to happen, so I'll have to replace that soon. And of course I'm going to trim all this up. And another thing is when you first put this on, it is going to stretch a little bit, but once you get it stretched out and it's been stressed for a little bit, then it's not going to stretch anymore, and you'll notice, I mean, it's not stretching hardly at all right now. So I like this string. It's a good string. I will use it for hopefully a good while, and of course I reinforce the areas that are going to get used a lot, so if this starts wearing out, I can replace it with some more fibers over there, and same goes for right here on the Turkish double loop.